I'm Cheryl. I work for a company called Grab. We are the leading ride-hailing platform across Southeast Asia. I think what we're really proud of is we are using telematics or data pretty much because we have the app in our driver's phone, right? And so we're using the data from the driver's phone to be able to do a lot of things related to safety. So we can tell when a driver is, for example, speeding, and we can tell them like, hey, we noticed that you're driving a bit faster than you should. And we've actually seen huge reductions in, the speed in which people drive. So I think for us, safety is a very big part of what we believe in. We have a lot of innovation in that sense. I think that's on technology, right? But also at the same time, we work with more on like sort of like the offline traditional things. What we've done is it's very hard to work out a commercial insurance agreement, but we've been able to do that across the region. So we do provide personal accident insurance for all our drivers and passengers. And also at the same time, we also have pay-as-you-go in Singapore, something that's quite unique and the first in the industry. I remember the days when I used to jump in a taxi. I grew up in Malaysia, right? So when I used to jump into a cab, I would take out my phone, and no camera phone, right? So you save the car plate number or SMS it to someone so that if anything happens, your family has this car plate number. And if you wanted to lodge a complaint, you will never get a response, right? And this day and age, people can rate drivers, and that helps us predict whether or not, what is their behavior like. They can complain on social media. We do background checks as well. All of that just makes the platform safer. And I think consumers really appreciate that, but also I think as a business, you need to understand, and we really understand it has become the norm. The expectations of consumers just continues to increase. I don't think there's anything to complain about. We just need to keep getting better, and I think that's our point of view. So Grab doesn't only have cars, we also have bikes, which is a very big part of our business. And if you've ever taken a bike in Indonesia, you will understand a couple of things. For example, they can't drive on certain roads, like they can't go on certain highways, and they can use really small roads, which cars can't get into, right? So we do use data from our existing drivers' behavior to remap sort of like the direction and the choice of route that a driver should choose, and that differs between a car and bike driver. In the early days, when people started using Grab, the primary form of transaction is actually cash. Over time, more and more people like the cashless experience, and so they use credit cards, they use debit cards, right? I think in the future, we're definitely going to move towards payments. Today, we are probably one of the largest wallets already used just because of the sheer number of transactions that we do, right? So how do we empower the unbanked? How do we help people who want to start a business and want to sort of like accept transactions? And if you think about, say, countries like Indonesia, which is Southeast Asia's largest population, a lot of them are unbanked. A lot of them have never had ATM cards. How do we solve for that problem? So that's really what's next for Grab. So something like Stream is really good in helping you expand your worldview, meeting different people, having more ideas to bring back to the business. I've definitely taken some notes in which I was like, I wrote down some things, okay, these are the things that we should consider about, say, for example, brand safety, the way that we do the business, maybe AR as well, and philosophical things about culture and the way we run the organization. So I think it's been really beneficial for me. I think to me, the box means having a preconceived notion about how something should be done, right? And I think I always tell people, think like there is no box and not just outside the box. And I think that's what you kind of need to do to be able to innovate and take that leap forward. Like for me, I had no marketing experience, and the way I got through that was really just being humble and asking people lots of questions and listening to my peers, but also to people out of the organization. But also at the same time, you must have the humility to listen to other people, and that's very much like Stream. There are people who are going to be very good at what they're talking about, but also at the same time, the tone is set that there's no stupid ideas. Everybody can have an opinion. I've not been in a situation where I've seen people put others down at Stream, and that's pretty much how I think a good collaborative culture should be like.